to the family. Peace to my comrades. Always smoke to the COINTELPRO boxing fan. Come on in, press that like button, subscribe and share. Subscribe and share, family. We are in the building. Live from the poolside. Once again, we are live from the poolside, if you will. If you will or if you won't. Y'all come on in. We're going to talk just a little boxing talk while we at the pool. Just a little boxing talk. Come on in. Press that like button. Let the people know that we are live. Oh, let the people know. Salute my comrade. Boxing Wiz is in the building. Y'all come on in and make sure I turn all my things up. Salute to my comrade. Boxing Wiz is in the building. I know the family about to come in, so let me put some clothes on. Down here at this here pool. Fam got me out here at the pool, y'all. Woo. Matter of fact, I'm about to get me a seat in the shade. Y'all take a walk with me. Take a walk with me. Let's go sit in the shade. Work smarter, not harder. Oh, man. People. We got to get under. We're going to get under. Before we go under. There we go. See, now I can... Now I can talk property to the family. What I tell you about screaming like that when you in the pool? Don't do it again. Unless you need help. You hear me? Did you hear what I just said? Did you hear what I just said? Don't scream like that unless you need help. You understand? All right. Come on in, family. To be or not to be? This is the question. Fam, I have to say this. You know, they really did a number on us in this country. They truly did a number on us. Salute my good brother, Macadacious Mac of the South is in the building. Salute to all of my comrades coming in. Family, this is what I got to say. First of all, where is Keyshawn? All of this talking and wolf tickets that were being sold. Where is y'all boy Keyshawn at now? And miss me with the all because negotiations is going on. That ain't got nothing to do. We ain't seen a video be posted. We ain't seen a live. All of this poking that was going on before. It seems that a lot of people are silent. But let me say this, fam. You know, some of our people used to be so sick. They really used to believe that the water from the white people only water fountain was colder than the black people, for colors only water fountain. This was a sickness. This was during a time where people had the whole system against them and were taught that you're nothing, right? And you might say, well, Coach, what does this have to do with Keyshawn and the purse bid? What does it have to do? Well, let me tell you this, fam. I heard the general. I was listening to this brother, Art Man. I was listening to this brother, Art Man. I think his name is Art Man the Great on YouTube. I was up late playing some Undisputed on the PS5, eating some bean pie. And I said, let me listen to some boxing talk if there's any on. And as soon as I opened up the YouTube thing, I seen Art Man the Great. And Art Man the Great was talking to somebody, and the brother was trying to tell him about, the fight wouldn't go to purse bid and da 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 da. So the general called in, and the general 78 Sports TV, that is. General 78 said, he told the man, he said, I think it's crazy how you all will say and talk about our connections with Bill, but then when we tell you all something, you don't believe. Or when we try to tell you all something, you try to go back and forth with us when we have a direct connection to the source, to the root of what we're questioning. Right after that, the general said this is going to go to purse bid. And many brothers who, for whatever reason, they got this bitterness in their heart, whatever. I mean, we're arguing right now. This is where we are in the sport of boxing. We are debating whether or not a fight is going to go to a purse bid. And now that we know for a fact that the general was right and exact again, just like many times, all of the truth tellers, they tell you something, y'all say, well, what's your source? But let Sean Zattel say it. Oh, but Sean Zattel got connections to the people. He got more connections than the actual fighter and the fighter's father? Let Mike Coppinger tweet something. Yeah, but one more and we out. You got me? Let Mike Coppinger tweet something. And you take it for what it is. You don't ask no questions, do you? You don't ask no questions. There's a sickness going on amongst us brothers in the sport of boxing, from the fans to the men. The preserved tank of hate that we have for each other, the distrust that we have for each other. The brothers were talking about how they don't like Bill Haney. And I saw my brother, one of my comrades. Y'all don't know how good it feels when I'm on somebody's channel and I see one of my comrades come through and start talking that truth. Our good brother Freedom's March popped up. Oh, man. My good brother Freedom's March popped up and he called it out like it is. Freedom's March popped up and said, I ain't going to beat around the bush. He said, hell yeah, Andre Durrell is a hater, full of contempt for Devin. And the question is why? Man, I seen that, boy, I almost had to pull over. I seen it, I almost had to pull over and hit up Freedom myself. Boy, I see you in the chat. I see my comrade in the chat making it plain. And then I started thinking about the excuses that brothers use and even race fans use. Because even though you want to be separated from them, you're really tied together. Many of you fighters still shake hands with Danny Garcia. Many of you fans, especially in Philly, you love you some Danny Garcia, don't you? Many of you brothers, after you said Dev needs to get rid of Bill, and Brian Norman Jr. needs to get rid of Brian Norman Sr., after Teofimo Lopez got his ass whooped all night with a jab and got some of the worst corner man advice I have ever seen in the history of the sport of boxing, not once did I see a marathon of videos about Teofimo Lopez having to get rid of his father. This double-minded and double-tongued talk in the sport of boxing makes us look crazy. Where is Keyshawn? Let's go back around. Where is Keyshawn Davis? There was a question once asked. Salute my good brother, Black Martial Arts Society in the building. Family, I get so happy when I see my comrades that's been with me from the beginning. When I only had 100 subscribers, 200 subscribers. Look at us, fam. We almost monetized. It's good to see my brother, Black Martial Arts Society. It's good to see my brother, the Dirt Gang Boss, in the building. The question is, family, where is Keyshawn Davis? And not only that, all of you so-called Keyshawn diehards now, where are you all asking the right questions? We ain't heard from our boy in a minute. Where is Keyshawn Davis? Salute my good brother Stormy B Man. Stormy B Man says, salute Coach B Hudson, great cook yesterday and you're on your way today. Oh, thank you, my good brother. That's, see, when it comes from the sensei, I know I'm on the right track. Y'all know I hop around a little bit. So you brothers still welcome Danny Garcia with open arms. You welcome Tio with open arms. You even still talk about Tyson Fury cheating and defeating our champion Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Now you might say, well, Coach, what does that have to do with each other? Because they all have fathers who have been a horrible example of the way a father should be in the sport of boxing. Salute my good brother Nata 86 in the building. St. Louis Mix in the building. So I have to ask the question, fam, what the hell is going on? And where is Keyshawn Davis? I do wonder, why do we continue this insanity, practicing the same thing, expecting a different result over and over and over again? The silence. The silence. See, family, when you don't listen, men, when you don't listen, eventually the consequence has to come in some form of punishment. God is trying to get our attention again and again and again. And we keep making the same mistakes. So what does a father do to a child that refuses to listen? One of the best crime cinematic dramas in black cinema, New Jack City. And there was a question asked on New Jack City. He asked, am I my brother's keeper? Some would say, yes, I am. Well, Keyshawn, because we talked about this a while ago, I told you all, Shakur Stevenson has loyalty to no one. If we just look at the interviews that brother has done in the last 2 weeks, and that brother was on trial for anything, he would be destroyed through cross-examination. Because he changes what he says every time. So the question is, people, where is Keyshawn Davis? And why is his fans not asking, where is our champion? We're not getting no lives. We're not getting all of that woofing y'all were doing. All of that, where's Debo? Where is Keyshawn Davis, family? And why is Shakur acting like he's being a good big bro doing this? Acting like that we don't see the play. You mean to tell me you threw your brother in there with O'Shaquie Foster when we all know that was too soon? Raymond Ford was not ready for the veteran O'Shaquie Foster. O'Shaquie Foster just outclasses your man. Your little bro gets thrown out the ring. And now you say it ain't about what the fans want? This ain't about what the fans want. This is about what you said, Shakur. Where is Keyshawn Davis? I talked about the usefulness. I got a secret I want to tell y'all, fam. This is what I learned a long time ago when it comes to boxing. Because there's a lot of narratives being pushed that just isn't true. I like the fact that Adrian Bronner's getting back in shape. I like the fact he's bringing attention to some of the brothers that's still locked up who were wrongly accused. I like that. But this is what I don't like. I don't like the gangsterism they keep trying to tie in with the sport of boxing. Where our young people are now believing that for them to be a stand-up man, they have to throw up some type of set. The original gangsters didn't want you. If you had a right path to go, they weren't trying to pull you into what they had going on. Because what they had going on came out of the mud, the dirt, poverty, criminality from the lack of resources. You all understand? They really have done a number on us. I find it interesting that the truth tellers can say one thing. The General, 78 Sports TV, he's been saying for weeks, this is probably going to go to purse bid. You understand? This is probably going to go to purse bid. I heard brothers, no, it ain't, no, they got this. No, and look what's happening. And now you all have nothing to say. Now, content creators they're not arguing with the mainstream. They're not arguing with the mainstream. You only have that caution for your brother. Well, where is your source? But you don't ask where Sean gets his sources from, do you? When Sergio Mora talks, you don't ask about that then. When Radio Raheem shucks and jives, you don't push the line then. But when it's your brother, you have plenty of smoke, don't you? Now, let's think about this for a second. Let's think of some of our greatest fighters. They were stand-up men. They were strong. They were tough. But they couldn't be in the streets and the boxing gym at the same time. Thank you, St. Louis Mix. You said out of necessity, because of lack of resources. Do you all know how goofy you look coming up through the USA Boxing program, being around mentors, this whole period of your life, and now as grown men, you decide that you are this gangster. You all are part of these sets now. When I lived in the projects as a young man, not a kid, as a young man on my own, I was trying to get out. Go ahead. I was trying to get out. I wasn't glorifying it. People didn't know what I had going on. I had two jobs. I was living on the west side of Atlanta. I had no car. I was making $8 an hour. $8 an hour. I had to get up at 4 a.m. in the morning and walk from the Allen Temple Projects to the H.E. Holmes train station every morning, Monday through Friday, just to catch 2 trains and 1 bus to my job. This is nothing I was glorifying, but it's part of my journey in molding me into the man I am today. This is why when I look at some of you dudes, especially you young dudes, man, y'all got all kinds of resources and things available to you. If you have a smartphone, you can download apps and get work right off of your phone. What kind of fool would I be to get back into that lifestyle of being poor, broke, casting my pearls before swine? If some of you young folk don't know what that means giving out your resources to people that don't deserve it. Salute Dark Ken in the building, comrade. St. Louis Mix says, what kind of fool do you have to be trained in a discipline that can pay you millions of dollars for 36 minutes of work, but you want to portray a lifestyle that gets you death or prison instead? To you young boys, you young brothers, I want to tell you a story that might shake you up a little bit, but you need to hear it, because right now you're listening to the gangsters on the radio, And they get in your head and you're thinking, if I just stay loyal enough to the street gonna love me back. If I stay loyal enough to the gang gonna love me back. Watch this. I saw a 17-year-old start out on the second floor of the prison. When he turned 18, came up to the 6th floor of the prison. The young brother stays loyal to the gang. For whatever reason, he gets in some trouble and they take him to what's called administrative lockdown. Watch this, family. Administrative lockdown. And while he's on administrative lockdown, a lifetimer who has life in prison stays out and sneaks into the open bay. Now, when you're on administrative lockdown, you're supposed to get what's called 23-in-1. You come out for an hour, you're locked down for 23. You go back in your cell, the tower makes sure it locks, and they keep going down, okay? But this particular time, this lifetimer got a hold of him, the young brother who's been loyal to the gang, knocks him out, and grapes him, assaults him, tries to take everything that makes him a man from him. And when the young man is eventually found, he tells what happens. And he says to himself, he says, I know the brothers are going to have my back, because there's supposed to be a zero toleration zone for that type of activity. Well, that's not how it went down. The brothers turned the gang he's been loyal to all this time, they turned their back on him. So now he's walking around as a target. He's being great. And our other bandits are going to be trying to do it to him again. This is a young brother who had gave his whole life to what you all think is gang. How that little catchy song go? Do you gang bang? Something. Yeah, I know y'all like that, right? Y'all like that. And now you all are trying to push that into the sport of boxing. So right now, let me tell you to play. Come on, go ahead. So let me tell you to play right now. This is what they're trying to get the young people to see. That the fighters with the fathers, right? Watch me now, family. The fighters with the fathers are soft and weak. And the fighters that's talking this gang, trench warfare, I was in World War II and Vietnam talk, they're making them seem like tough. They're courageous. They're the ones you young people need to be like, right? You all need to be more like Keyshawn. And I stand up on your word like Shakur. Crash out like Keyshawn, you see? And you have grown men well into their 40s, 50s, 60s saying, yeah, but you know, Keyshawn, he mean, man. He got that dog in him. Because you're ignorant and a crash out doesn't mean you have dog in you. It means you're stupid. One of the realest things I heard one of those young rappers say, I think it was 21 Savage, he said there's a lot of dudes in the street that think they gangster, they really just stupid. They dumb. And that's what we're seeing in boxing. And then when brothers bring it up, I ain't forgot, where is Keyshawn Davis? All I'm talking about when Keyshawn was popping it and he was doing the where's Debo? Where's Debo? Oh man, you brothers was, oh yeah, how come Dev's so quiet? Come to find out, Dev in the gym, working. Dev in the gym, hitting a 200-pound heavy bag, folding it in. He's at weighing 159 pounds. 159 right now. He working. So how come you all don't have that same smoke for Keyshawn? How come you all want to pose like you're real boxing fans? I don't understand. And maybe one day we'll get to the bottom of it. One day we'll get to the bottom of it. Hold on. Woo! Woo! Get your stuff. Get your towel. Put your shoes on. Put your shirt on. Grab all your stuff and come over here. Quickly, quickly. Salute my good brother Felix Nunez in the building. But brothers and sisters, just think about what I said. Think about the hypocrisy that's going on. Over and over again. We're going to head out. We've been here for about an hour. Come on, let's roll out. Over and over again. You got all your stuff? Yeah, grab all your stuff. How you going to leave without your shirt? Where is Keyshawn Davis is the question, family. Where is he at? All of this talk about Devin being soft, and it looks like every day, Shakur is not a man of his word. Keyshawn's not a man of his word. Hold on, fam. These are all questions that I want to know. And now, what happens is, now let me show you all probably wondering what did Jay Prince get him into. Let me tell you, that's a good question, Dirt Gang boss. Let's let it cool off first. These are all great questions. What did Keyshawn get himself into? That's another question. That's another question. But I'm gonna tell y'all this, family. This is the new thing they're doing. Watch this, y'all. This was now that all of them of who the real king is. Start saying this. I'm just tired of all of them. Some of you have probably already heard this. I'm just tired of all of them. I'm sick of Dev, Tank, Shakur, Keyshawn, Ryan, Roley. I just want them all to fight. So what they'll do is, instead of being man enough to say, you know what, man, we was wrong. We was wrong. Dev is the truth. Dev is more of a stand-up man and a man of his word than these other goofies. They won't do that. What they will do, they will lump them all together and throw Devin in there. Instead of showing that Dev is the only one out of that whole crew that used to be at 130, 135, fighters that we've been talking about for 7 years fighting each other. What is boxing turning into, family? So this is what we're going to start hearing. Oh, well, it's all of them. And they'll throw Dev in there too. Instead of being man enough. That is not a manly trait. That is not a masculine trait. To have such ego. That's right. The Dirt Game boss. He says, and that's why they hate Bill, because he taught his son that. St. Louis Mick says, facts. That's their escape plan to avoid accountability. And that's exactly what they do. They do everything they can to avoid accountability. Say, you know what? Our bad, Dev. Our bad, Bill. We was wrong. Hold on, fam. Let me pull up to the crib real quick. Get in the crib, put some on. But this is what's going on. And I can't say, if nobody else is going to say it, I'm going to say it. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed on how we look to the world right now. If I was a British boxer fan, I would say, hey man, look what they got going on. Look what if I was a Brit, I would say, look at the Americans. Look how they're running around making excuses for this so-called anyway, he's American. Baby, I give it to you and all that you want. Come on, fam. We talking boxing. I know some people not gonna like this. You don't like me calling you out, but hey, come on. And let somebody in the chat can real quick on your smartphone or on a laptop and tell me, go to the Ring Magazine pound for pound list and tell. Hold on, fam. Gotta aggravate my neighbor real quick. Back in the crib, I can pull my laptop on now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Say I'm lagging? All right. Hold on, fam. Let me know that you can hear me, fam. Loud and clear. Let me know that you can hear me. Let's see. Am I connected to my Wi-Fi? Am I connected to my Wi-Fi? How I'm coming in now? Am I still lagging? Am I still lagging, family? All right, Dirt Game Boss. Appreciate you, fam. Said I'm good to go. I'm good to go. Let me get my laptop, fam, so we can do some little research real quick. It makes sense of all of this madness going on. From the pool to the crib. Oh. From the pool to the crib. Turn this AC off before I get sick. Turn that up. All right, let me grab my laptop so we can go to school. I know the honorable sensei, when people don't show up to class on time and do bad, I know he sends y'all to detention. Let me see. If I can pull this up. Let me see if I can pull this up. All right, St. Louis Mix, salute, good brother. Appreciate it. He said I'm back. All right. I'm back and we live. So y'all see, I got it. We talking boxing talk, so pay attention. Let's pull it up. Put an APB out for Keyshawn Davis. Where is Keyshawn Davis? Yes, sir. All right, let's go to it. We're going to go here. Ring Magazine, pound for pound list. All right, come on in, family. Press that like button, subscribe, and share. Gots to be more careful. Here we go. Ring Magazine, pound for pound, top 10 currently. Who we got? 13 hours ago. No. All right. Now check this out, family. Listen to this. Let me know you all can hear me loud and clear. Loud and clear. Loud and clear. Now check this out, family. On the Ring Magazine, pound for pound list. Hold on, fam. Little man, take those wet shoes off, okay? At number one, we have Inouye. Number two, they have Usyk, the first American on the pound for pound list is Shakur Stevenson. Let me say that again. The first American on the pound for pound list is Shakur Stevenson. After Shakur, guess who it is, fam? Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez. Number 5, David the Monster Benavidez. After that, number 8, because the next is Bivol and Nakatani. Right? Number 8, we have Devin Haney. Number 9, we have Jerome Boots Ennis. And number 10, they have Oscar Calazio. Now, brothers and sisters, is it me or would it seem that the top pound for pound American fighter on the list? Yeah, that's crazy. They got Nakatani above Devin Haney. But I digress. Is it not strange that a fight between two of the pound for pound top 10 could make a fight happen, and for whatever reason it's not happening? Is Keyshawn on the top pound for pound list? He's nowhere on here. The only black American on the top 10 Ring Magazine pound for pound list is Shakur, Devin Haney, and Boots Ennis. Now, Boots Ennis moved up, right? Let's call it like it is. Boots Ennis moved up. Shakur and Dev could have made that fight at that catch weight. Now, some are going to say, well, no, coach, because of WBO and Dev didn't want to drop the belt, so that's why it's happening with Keyshawn and da. At this point, family, we have to call a spade a spade. If you all don't understand what's going on, Devin Haney's name is being used for views. The disrespect of the Haneys to cuss them out and call them names is being used for views. Example, there's a fighter fighting this weekend who was getting all types of press when he was screaming F the Haneys. What kind of press is he getting right now? Somebody in the chat tell me who that is. Tell me who's fighting this weekend. They not gonna like this, fam. They not gonna like this. Oh, y'all not gonna like this. Thank you. See, we got real boxing supporters in our chats. They know we know what's going on. But do you all know how many casuals would not have known that? No, Ryan Garcia and Conor Ben not fighting this weekend. That's not who fighting this weekend. They're fighting in what? They're fighting in a few months. St. Louis Mix says, absolute facts, Coach. Haney disrespect is very lucrative. But we have to ask ourselves, why is that? Why is it lucrative? What fighter is fighting this weekend that was running around saying F the Haneys? And now he's not getting anywhere near the press he was getting. I'll help you, family. Richardson Hitchens is scheduled to fight Ricardo Salas on July 26th. He last successfully defended his belt against George Kambosos Jr. in June 2025. Now, some are going to make more excuses and say he did that to himself. Him and Berlanga on the same card. Thank you, my good brother, Dirt Game Boss. So it seems that oh man, and Jaleel Hackett on the card. So family, it's going to be some good boxing if you all want to see some good boxing. But this is my point. My point is there is almost a COINTELPRO mission against certain fighters to be successful from being successful because of the threat they will pose. Now, you see, Floyd got the way he got through being great, but Floyd wasn't a serious threat to them, to the mainstream, because Floyd did things in a way where even though he was able to call his own shots eventually, a lot of people ate off of Floyd. Showtime ate off of Floyd. But I don't think that we understand the type of power our fighters have when they're that great. Because my good brother, the Honorable Drew Titan would say, you have to qualify what you say. You have to qualify to talk boxing. So let's remind the people what happened. When Floyd decided to make Showtime all that money, who had to literally get out of boxing? What platform had to get when Floyd decided and said, you know what? F y'all. Come on, y'all. We talking boxing talk. Pay attention. Pay attention. I'm not going to give you all the answers. What platform had to get out of boxing? Thank you, Noah Randall. HBO had to get out of boxing because Floyd became the cash cow. Mike on his way out. Roy done got knocked out by Tarver. You see? So they start looking around. The boxing world starts looking around, and the boxing world says, he the next one. And if you all watch me, ma'am. Stay with me. Do not lose focus. Watch this. As soon as that happened, like clockwork, Larry Merchant went from Floyd is the great Olympian with so much promise to his career to come to every little thing was a bad critique of what Floyd wouldn't do. Floyd could be sitting there going toe-to-toe with Emmanuel Augustus, the drunken master. We talking boxing talk, so pay attention, press the like button. And Larry Merchant would still be sitting there pulling his Max Kellerman. See, a lot of you young fighters and young fans, you don't understand what you're looking at. You don't understand why the truth tellers get upset about Max Kellerman constantly. And he knows exactly what he's doing. He's a slick talking devil. There it is. He came back with a motive, and he's doing a good job pushing that motive. And every single one of you Negroes that go up there and sit next to him, you are helping what's happening. We cannot allow, this is what they're saying, family. You better believe they've had a conversation about it. We cannot allow Bill and Devin Haney to be successful. Because see, let me show y'all what's happening. It is not by mistake. And I know some people are going to call me conspiracy theories, but watch this. Whether you all like it or not, I'm about 30-0 in things to come. And those of you that have been with me from the beginning, you know Coach ain't lying to you. I have the gift of sight in this sport. And I know my enemy. I know that there's nothing he can do that's new under the sun. His tricks are the same. Okay. Devin and Clarissa Shields. Devin and Clarissa Shields are public enemy number one. Now, I need you all to ask yourselves why. It ain't Keyshawn. It ain't Keyshawn who potentially could have bought and garnered another contract between ESPN and Top Rank, but he effed that up in front of his hometown, in front of thousands of people. But they're not pushing the narrative that he's a bad role model or a bad fighter on him the way they're pushing this hate against Dev. Why is that? Clarissa Shields is public enemy number one now. And I want you all to tell me, what has Clarissa Shields said that's worse than Ryan Garcia's racist rant? See, they're not going to like this. They don't want to talk about what's happening for real, but I'm going to make it plain. What has Clarissa done other than bring eyes to women's boxing, bring boxing back to the Midwest, arenas? And if you all don't know, all of us with gyms, every time Clarissa's about to fight, we get an increase in sales of women that come into the gym. So what is it about those two? I'm going to tell you what, it ain't nothing what y'all think it is. There are brothers in these YouTube content spaces, I promise you, they're getting paid by the government. I promise you that they are getting a check from the government to keep causing division between us. Let me tell you what the enemy has realized. The enemy studies us. They study us well. This is why they try to do a census, even though we don't participate a lot of times. They try to always put somebody of their own within our circles to figure out what they got going on. What are they doing? This is what the enemy realized. The enemy realized that every time there's a strong leader with morals and integrity for their people in the sport of boxing, usually the people as a whole, black people, start moving a little different. They start unifying all over. Violence goes down. Families get together. We cannot have that. But y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get why I get so pissed off with all of this BS that keeps getting pushed. Let me slow down. Let me slow down. Hold on, fam. Hold on. Because I might be flying a little too high. Hold on. When Jack Johnson would win, it was considered a win for us. When Joe Louis would win, when Henry Armstrong would win, when Sugar Ray Robinson would win, it was a win for us. It was a win for us. When Marvin Hagler went over to England, it was a win for us. When Roy Jones would get on the camera, boisterous, saying shout out to Pensacola, Florida, and snatching the mic out of the mischief maker's hands, it was a win for us. When Bernard Hopkins told Larry Merchant, hey, be professional, Larry. Stop that. Be a professional. It was a win for us because it's something about us. I don't care what anybody try to tell y'all, talking to my people for a second. My brothers and sisters, whether you know it or not, we are a spiritual, vibrational people. And it's something about when we see somebody who represents us shine, it's almost like we can feel the vibration, even if they're all the way in Africa. Even if they're all the way in Rumble in the Jungle, we feel it here through the TV screen. Now, some of you might say, man, come on, coach, that's not true. Because look how they did Wilder. That's a great point. Look how they did Wilder. Look how the powers that be allowed what happened to happen and no real consequences has taken place. No real consequences to Tyson Fury. Now, some of you might think, that's right, coach. That's what they don't want. But watch this. That's not even their main concern. What? That's not even their main concern. Let me tell y'all what their main concern is. Shout out to my brother Trill Will. Me and my brother Trill Will were talking about this a few months ago. Me, Trill Will, a few other brothers. They came to Atlanta when they had the Tank Davis versus Gamboa fight here in the city. All right. Well, in Atlanta. When I tell you, you all remember that scene in American Gangster when Frank Lucas was going to the fight and he had the chinchilla and you saw all the brothers and sisters, pimped out and dressing clean. This is what a sold out event in a city that's not what they say is not a boxing city sells out. Because what they don't know is they can say what they want about Atlanta. That dollar and that support in that city is unmatched when it comes to brothers and sisters showing up for brothers and sisters, and not a fight breaks out. Not one fight broke out in the stadium. Can they say it for any main fight in Las Vegas? No. No, because the brothers are getting into it with the Mexicans, or the Mexicans are getting into it with the brothers, or the brothers are getting into it with the Brits, or the Irish are getting into it with the, you see? But when we have a star-studded fight card with brothers in a city like Atlanta, and they sell out and everybody eats, there are people in the sport of boxing that say, well, hold on, it's too black around here. There are people on these commission boards that say, man, even though we wish them no harm, they're safe. They say, no, we need to get our people in here. We need to mix this up a little bit. Now, Dev and Bill, if they are successful, this is what they'll be showing. Now, many brothers and sisters in the future are going to try to act like they were on the Haney train, that they were supporters of the Haneys, that they were rooting our brothers on, because it's going to be convenient for them then. Just like as many old heads that all act like they were all for Ali. And we know that's not the case. Some of you all were some George Foreman American apologists. That's another history lesson for another time. But rest in peace to George Foreman and the great Muhammad Ali. Devin Haney and Bill didn't win a gold medal. Devin Haney and Bill, let me slow down. Let me go back because some people are not going to connect the dots. Let me say this again. Devin Haney was not an Olympian like Shakur. Devin Haney was not an Olympian like Keyshawn. Devin Haney was not an Olympian like Floyd. Devin Haney was not an Olympian like Roy. Devin Haney was not an Olympian like Pernell Whitaker. Devin Haney was not an Olympian like Muhammad Ali. Devin Haney was not an Olympian like Sugar Ray Leonard. Do you all see where I'm going with this? So because Devin Haney was not an Olympian, Bill decided, you know what? We're going to turn pro, young age, go down to Mexico. Now, on paper, no one would have thought that Dev would be, at that time, that Dev would be where he is now. Unless you were in the gyms at the time and you heard about that young man traveling around with his father beating up the whole gym. Beating up the whole gym all over the nation. And there are fighters right now, that's the real reason why they don't want to get in there with Dev. Some of these clips that y'all see on YouTube, you see with Dev and Shakur. That ain't the only time they sparred. Him and Tank. Devin been sparring these guys since he was 14, 15, no, younger than that, 12, 11 years old. And now that Dev has got his grown man strength, he's going against top competition like Lomachenko. They're terrified. And the powers that be in the sport of boxing, they wish they could have managed their fighters the way Trill Bill has managed his son. His son is probably the most battle-tested fighter amongst his peers in the sport. Under him, I would say his peers. I would say Dev, hold on. Can't say him. I can't say Hitchens because Hitchens fought a downward Cambosis. Shakur fought a sorry Tio. You know. I'm sorry, yo. I'm having a hard time thinking of. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Dirt Game Boss. I would have to. And Dirt Game Boss be right there with me. I'm trying everything in my power not to say this man's name, but if I'm about to have to do it, because damn. Yep, that's who. Ass whooping and all. It's Devin and Tio. Amongst their peers, Devin and Tio are the most battle tested. Yeah, you right. Dirt Game Boss. You right. It's Devin and Tio. See? Yeah, it's Devin and Tio. Because when we look at Dev, you'll have to remember that they said that Dev was going to lose to Linares. Because why? Linares dropped Loma. They said that Dev was going to lose to Cambosis. Why? Number one, he didn't have his father the first time in the corner. Number two, Cambosis whooped Tio's ass. They said the same thing about Regis. I can go on and on and on. He gets cheated against Ryan. Ryan can't knock him out on PEDs. Now, if you all remember, I'm on live right now. Okay, go put that up. If you all remember, I said this a little while ago. I said this maybe a year and a half ago. About 2 years ago, I said this on a panel. I said, if they're going to do it, they need to get Devin now. I said they need to get Devin and they need to beat him now. Because if they let that man get into his grown man strength, they about to have a problem on their hand. And that's where we are. Now, some of you might not be able to put two and two together to get four. But it will be a slap in the face of the mainstream, the puppet masters of the sport of boxing, if Devin is successful without going the route that all the greats have gone through. I don't think we are grasping the history that will be made for all young black fighters coming up later on what Dev did. You got Dev, who wasn't an Olympian at all, looking like he's almost is looking like that's who's going to be the future face of boxing, if not the face right now. You have Clarissa Shields, who is a two-time gold medalist, who they still didn't really want to support. And they both, it seems, are constantly being talked about in the sport of boxing. Salute Brandon Shamar in the building. So what we need to understand, while we're bickering, arguing, and going back and forth and all of that good stuff, the powers that be really don't like none of us. That's what I need you all to understand. I don't care what channel you like. To my people, and you know who I'm talking about, my people, if y'all don't understand this by now, this is what they want. Some of you all are starting to use this term, this Latino privilege in boxing. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Keep on going down the road you're going down. Keep on trying to throw dirt and not have our best fight each other. The skill, your skill set goes down. Some of you all want to use this, oh, well, they feel like this because I heard it today. My brother said, one of my brothers I was listening to, he said, this Latino privilege in the sport of boxing, and some of you all might not understand what he's talking about, but a lot of times, for whatever reason, especially when you're dealing with the WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, when you look at the Boots Virgil Ortiz situation, you can be a whole champion. You can be a world-class champion and be going against a popular Mexican fighter that has no title, that's never been a world champion. And they will act like they are the A side, and the commissions will kowtow to them. The sanctioning bodies will kowtow to them, will bow down to them. And we're looking around like, well, wait a second. He ain't the A side. What's up with that? Now, some might say, oh, there's no, come on. What are you talking about, coach? Come on. Hey, come on, coach. There's nothing about, hey, come on, papa. Right? Well, if there ain't no Latino privilege, let me ask you something. How many fighters in the Eddie Renesso gym pop hot and people didn't get not even a slap on the wrist? Who moved up the amount of clenbuterol Canelo could have in his system? Virgil Ortiz tells Boots, you got to, cut that beard. We're going to meet it this way. We're going to fight here. And Eddie Hearn says, hold up, bruh. What you talking about? When we tried to get the fight, y'all started talking about Errol Spence. Oscar De La Hoya. And I just think it's amazing the grace that some of you brothers give everybody else. But let one of your brothers in the sport of boxing get caught with some fishnets and white stuff all under their nose. You all will never let it down. But now you all get on here, yeah, but Oscar said, am I my brother's keeper? Dirt Game Boss says they all pop dirty, and Robert Garcia defends them because he stays on code with his people. That's a fact. My brother Felix Nunes says, if I may, coach, no disrespect, there is a particular group amongst said Latinos that get that privilege more than others. Oh, that ain't no disrespect. That ain't no disrespect. I know it. I know it. You see, we try. Not try, I do. I focus on our issues, but the truth is the truth. I specialize in what's going on between the Black American boxing world and the atmosphere. But do you all remember? I'm one of the only ones that is alive pointing out, why won't they get behind David Benavidez the way they got behind Canelo? Is David Benavidez not Latino enough? Then, when they dropped that little promo and David Benavidez was talking shit about our fighting style and not being a bitch, y'all remember that? I said, "Oh, this must be the start of them saying, hey, you say these things, we're gonna push behind you." They said, "F that." They're still not getting behind. So I realize it's a certain group of Latinos that are getting this privilege. If you look like Ryan, you can get it. If you look like Canelo, you can get it. If you're over there with Ed Reynoso, you can get it. If Mauricio Suleiman likes you, you can get it. If you look like Usyk, you can get it. But if you try to drop that belt and you're black like Terrence Crawford, they're going to call you a coward. But if you're Usyk and you drop those belts just so you don't have to pay the fees, and if you happen to lose to Wilder, the mainstream will still be happy because Wilder still won't be a heavyweight champion. If Usyk grabbed his belts, that would have made Wilder a unified heavyweight champion, correct? Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. We're talking boxing talk. That's right, Felix Nunes. Adames didn't get it against Hamas, right? Andy Cruz. Yeah, family. Come on, talk about it. That's right. Thank you, Dirt Game Boss. Thank you. See, I'm learning about these belts. See, when we first started, I didn't know nothing about the belts. That's not my specialty. I'm into more of the science and the sociopolitics. But listen, Wilder would have became a unified heavyweight champion again in front of the world, beating their former undisputed heavyweight champion. We can't let that happen. We can't let that happen. Man, family, this is some nasty work. This is the privilege that we're talking about. Where is Keyshawn Davis? Is he going to be quiet until the first press conference? What happened to all the rah-rah we were hearing before? I hope nobody's getting cold feet. Am I my brother's keeper, Shakur? What kind of brother keeps throwing his brothers out there? Now, I'm going to say this, fam, and some people are not going to like this. Thank you. Oh, come on, fam. Talk to me, comrades. Talk to me. St. Louis Mix says King Kong Ortiz didn't get that Latino privilege either. You're damn right. Matter of fact, if it was not for Deontay Wilder, ain't no telling what opportunities they would have gave to Ortiz, because all the British heavyweights were ducking them. And that's a fact. Go look the history up. Go look the history up. If you're not tuning in when the sensei is giving classes on the weekend, that's why you don't know nothing. If you ain't been following the sport for years, if you just started following when Tank got braids, you're behind the clock. You're behind the time. Dirt Game Boss says the PBC could have been made Wilder the unified champ when Charles Martin was the IBF champ. And PBC, y'all not innocent. Y'all not innocent. But I'm not going to make this about y'all. You not on trial. Where is Keyshawn Davis and why are this is the new thing, fam. The fans are now saying, the ones who have been so silent, this is what happens, fam. It's a revolving door of cowardice. I'm going to show you how it goes. Our good brother, Champ Side. Hold on, fam. Yo, stop that. You can turn the TV on, but stop that. Missing my third eye up. Champ Side. He starts asking, where are the Brian Norman Jr. fans when the fight is announced? Where are the Brian Norman Jr. fans? The closer we get to the fight, the more Brian Norman Sr. starts talking that talk, the more the scuffles happen, the closer we get. Now it's a bunch of Brian Norman Jr. fans, right? Brian Norman Jr. is going to step on Dev. Brian Norman Jr. is going to knock that PTSD out of Dev. Brian Norman Jr. is going to be too much. Did you see the way he put that dude in the coma? Devin won't be able to handle that. He barely could handle Ryan. These are brothers still praising Ryan Garcia. Right now, watch this revolving door. Devin Haney beats Brian Norman Jr. Is that right? Okay, he beats Brian Norman Jr. and Champ Side asks all of the guys, all of the women who were going for Brian Norman Jr. to make sure they come back into the chat, make sure when he goes live after the fight, they show up, and none of them showed up. So they go ghost for a few weeks. They go ghost for a while, right? They stay absent. They go to other channels, but the Truth Tellers channels they stay away from. Some people I haven't seen since last November. I mean, look at it. Dev is tearing up households. Dev is breaking up families. Devin is breaking up YouTube friendships in the sport of boxing. Now watch this. Something else happens where these same cowards feel like now they have a win. And then they pop back up. But this time when they pop back up, now they have a new excuse. And the new excuse was Brian Norman Jr. was nobody. Brian Norman Jr. was getting beat up and sparring by Boots. So now it changes. Now, when I was growing up, that kind of character flaw would have been called out. You would have been called less of a man. A man that can't stand up on nothing? A man that can't stand up on principles? You mean to tell me you have no word that is bond? Shakur Stevenson, come on, brother. Stop lining your brothers up and then saying after that, O'Shaquie Foster's a nobody. Salute the Queen Brown Sugar Tay in the building. Dirt Game Boss says, somewhere wondering how much J Prince going to take out of that 25%. Oh, man. Salute to my number one comrade, the queen of boxing media, Sugar Free Mars. St. Louis Mix says, facts. Dev gonna mess around and break up the head to toe sleepover brotherhood. That's what's already happening, fam. That's what's already. See, the comrades are open today. Right here is open today. Right? Now watch this, fam. Hold on, let's finish this. Now watch this revolving door. Watch this revolving door now. So then the excuse becomes that Brian Norman Jr. wasn't ready. Now let me tell y'all what's about to happen again. Here we go. This is what happens. They start off saying it's the same insanity. Devin Haney's afraid of Shakur. Devin Haney's afraid of Keyshawn Davis. Here we go. We back into the revolving door. Then we start seeing Dev ain't running from nothing. So now the excuse comes. They go absent. Here comes the excuse. And this is the new excuse. We're tired of Dev, Tank, Shakur, Rolly, all of them not making fights happen. They throw Devin in there to not have accountability for their fighter being a liar and probably some sexual deviance. But that might be another lie for another time. To my brother's point, Devin the Dream Haney is breaking up families. What you all are seeing is the very prophetic messages that we have heard out our whole lives, that the truth will break up a lie. That I don't come to bring peace, but I come to bring a sword to turn the mother against the daughter, a sword to turn the father-in-law against the son-in-law. Is this not the day of separation in the sport of boxing? Is it not? All the sisters are in the building. Salute to my sister Bella Faith in the building. Says Haney only beat fighters past their primes. Now Brian Norman Jr. was a nobody. Norman Jr. was an excellent win. Sister, talk that talk. This is what they're saying. That was another excuse. Haney only beats fighters past their primes. Then when he beats a fighter in their prime, when he beats the knockout recipient of the year, you liars, you spineless men still will find a way to not have accountability. Our good brother Champside asked a great question today. Oh, I was tuned in. I was in the gym, but I was listening to our brother. And our brother asked, he said, what kind of man are you to not like a man because you don't like another man? Example, you say it's not Dev, you just don't like Bill, which is why you hate on Dev. Does that not sound like some BITCHASSNESS to you? It sounds like that to me. It sounds like some feminine energy to me. It sounds like some head to toe marshmallows and graham cracker nights to me. It sounds like some secret lover stuff to me. It sounds like just keep it on the down low to me. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. I wish a brother would say to me, he got beef with me because he don't like my father. I'm liable to check the strength of your jaw. I beg your pardon. What's going on, family? What are we turning into? Excuse me, not we. What are they turning into? I don't want to be a part of nothing like that. You all are calling in the panel saying, well, I just don't like Bill. You are a self-hating jiggacoon. That's what you are. Because you all don't have that smoke for Tyson Fury's father. You don't have that smoke for Angel Garcia. You don't have that smoke for Teofimo Lopez's father, who called Terrence Crawford to his face nigga. Come on, fam. But you want to tell me how much smoke you have for Bill. Max Kellerman came and disrespected the whole sport of boxing his first week back doing the Canelo versus Terrence Crawford build-up, and he got a pass. And you Negroes get up there, you get a seat next to Max, and you just, oh, I'm just happy to be here, sir. Whatever Max say, even though Master Max, he never boxed a day in his life, but what he say, it sounds good because he used some big words and he can tell you who fought who in 1994 and tell you who the ref was. And even though I actually fought in the sport of boxing and I actually know what it takes and I actually could give an analytical response to what we talking about. I'm just glad to be here, sir. I beg your pardon. I wish some of your great grandfathers and grandmothers could see you. I wish some of your great uncles and great aunts could see how you all behave. I said, there's no way I can make a channel off defending truth for us in the sport of boxing, because there's no way there's that many lies to deal with. Oh, was I wrong? Every week now, I got content to make to go against that which is trying to pull us down. So again, I ask you, where is Keyshawn Davis? Not even where's Keyshawn. Where are his fans to be accountable who has so much to say? Where's Dev? You said, where's Devin Haney? When Keyshawn was running around at the wrong house looking for Debo. See, this is why you young generation folks need to get a mentor before you try to. Make sure you saw the movie. Make sure you actually know that Debo was further down the street. He wasn't at Craig's house. So now it's going to purse bid. Something that the general told you all. The general said it's going to go to purse bid. My good brother Dirt Game Boss says, wondering if Shakur going to give him that extra 5% he begging for. I want to ask you all a question in the chat. Is Shakur going to be sitting front row when Keyshawn fights Devin Haney? Let me say it again. Is Shakur going to even show up to Keyshawn versus Dev? You all saw the way Shakur acted when he saw his little bro, Raymond Ford, be beat down by the veteran O'Shaquie Foster. He almost jumped in that ring and acted like he wanted to fight right then and there. He didn't even want to shake his hand. It's not that he just doesn't want to lose. He's a bitter sore loser. I can see that in him now. I see what's wrong. He is used to being told by the women in his family and the people around him that, Shakur, your ish don't stink. I heard a grown man not too long ago get on YouTube talking about, man, they just hate on Shakur because how handsome he is and how defensively sound he is. Now, brother, if you would have said how defensively sound he is, fine. That's a boxing conversation. But when you grown men start talking about how handsome the young brothers are, this ain't Jet Magazine. What's going on between the... Keep it on the down low. Nobody has to know. La 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 la. Do I need to put on some Isley Brothers? I feel like y'all coming to the sport of boxing playing Distant Lover. Come on, fam. This is sickly at this point. This is sickness at this point. Is this boxing or is this blind dating? Is this boxing or is this Love Island? Is this boxing or is this who wants to marry the Bachelor? Who wants to marry the next pound for pound fighter? Or is this who wants to be the top brother? Huh? Who wants to be Shakur's best brother? I'll fight him for you, Shakur. Don't you worry. Or is this Shakur's Captain Planet with the forces that be? we must defeat that Devin Haney and Bill Haney with our powers combined, head to toe, unite. Come on, fam. What's going on? It's getting crazy out here. Captain Planet. On the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, will Shakur Stevenson show up to Keyshawn versus Devin Haney and avenge the honor of his brother, who he loves with all of his heart? You'll find out next week on Dragon Ball Z. It's funny, but it's not. It's funny, but it's not, fam. Come on. That's right, DP Rocker. He wants some milk and cookies. Huh? Talk to him. Take it back, DP Rocker. That he said, I want some milk and cookies. Him downstairs. Where's Shakur at? Him downstairs. God dog. And now y'all are mad because Dale just wanna fight the best? Man, listen, I ain't gonna get my blood pressure up about you. But I tell y'all what, I seen Dev hitting that bag. Rest in peace to the legend Bernie Mac. Him downstairs. Say he wants some milk and cookies, some cookies and shit. But let me say this, fam. I seen Dev hit that bag. I said, Dev's gonna make an example out of whoever he fight next. Whoever he fight next. Because of the amount of time y'all done made this brother wait, the crap y'all been talking, Dev is making an example of the next person. And if you don't come in to fight and you aren't perfect, y'all seeing him break Brian Norman Jr.'s nose and drop him, and salute to Brian Norman Jr., who stood up and gave Devin a shot. Because all these other dudes are, we don't need to fight Dev. Scared to death. That's right, Sugar Free Mars. They scared to death of Dev. And then if you start talking about the truth, oh, this is another one they use. This is another one they use. They say, oh, you all are Devin Haney channels. Oh, you all are Boots Ennis channels. Oh, you all are Pro Abdullah Mason channels. Okay, so I tell you what. If we're talking about the fighters who are putting on fights that's moving the sport forward, who are putting on fights that has us all excited to watch something again in the sport, what are you talking about? If that makes us pro them channels and you all are still focused on Tank's braids, AB and Dean streaming, what kind of boxing fans are you? What kind of supporters are you? Strange little man, or strange big man, or strange old man, strange young man. It's a diverse group of weird dudes, all colors and sizes and shapes. And quite frankly, it worries me. It worries me. Because we have to realize somebody got to be the winner. Somebody has to be the winner. And I'm going to leave y'all with this. Remember this. You know, I was listening to an old, you young people who weren't even born yet. There used to be something on BET called not BET, it used to come on C-SPAN. It was called the Black State of the Union Address. And they would have these black dignitaries from all walks of life, elders, come and speak. And one year, they decided to have the minister. Y'all know who the minister is, okay? And the minister said, because all the brothers and sisters had great they had great ideas on what we should do to move our community forward. DP Rocker says, boxing is now all my children, general hospital, and gaze of our lives. It is some nasty work. But on C-SPAN, the minister was saying that we have signed a contract with death. And until we come out from among that contract, we're going to keep reaping the same things. Now, back in the day, we had an option. And this is what our options were, fam. Our options were either to stay segregated and keep fighting for equal protection under the law, or integrate to get equal protection under the law. All right. Now, when these things took place, we lost a lot of good leaders through incarceration and assassinations, right? And the people who were left, many scared to death preachers, scared to death pastors who decided to eventually sell the black church to the faith-based initiative of 2001. We have seen from 2001 to now the damage that has been done in the community under that choice and decision. Now, you might say, now, coach, what does that have to do with now? Watch. If indeed the truth tellers, if we are not the winners, my God, what will be left of the sport of boxing for our future generations to look up to and still see in their time somebody that looks like them through hard work and dedication, being great in a sport where it's just you and another man in the ring and proving that you are supreme in that boxing ring. Brothers and sisters, I thank you all for joining me. We've been live an hour and 30 minutes. I'm going to cook some dinner. I hope I gave you something good to think about. I will see you all later in these YouTube streets. Peace to the family. Peace to my comrades. And it is always smoke to you dirty, rotten, COINTELPRO, ghetto information program, secret lovers, head to toe, marshmallow graham cracker eating Negroes in and out of the sport of boxing. Peace. Secret love.